We're live in the pit. Somebody came to visit. Brett Wagner, the big swag. Welcome to Kansas City, my friend.
Well, wait a minute. We're not. Are we?
Well, we're outside of Kansas City now.
Can I say where we? Can we say that we're in a secret, undisclosed location?
We're in the Krypt.
40 minutes outside.
Yeah, we're about 40 minutes outside of Kansas City.
Yes.
Nice rural town.
Yes, looks very nice. And there's a lot of grass. It's been raining a little bit, so a lot of vegetation, which is nice.
Yeah, it's a nice area. I love it out here. It reminds me of the East Coast before it became the East Coast, where it's just overbuilt and you can't afford to live there. So I've loved it out here ever since I moved here.
How long have you been in this area?
Going on 9 years now.
9 years.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Started doing what I'm doing here. I didn't really expect to stay. It was kind of one of those things where I was in Florida. I lived in Florida before I moved here. And then I started doing this job that I was showing you and talking to you about. And before you know it, this is where I am.
What a wonderful downstairs room we got that you're going to be able to build out here soon.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. We're planning on it. It's just finding time to do it. Let me get to the comments there.
Get the stereo, get the surround sound. Oh, look at Mike. Is that Michael Toth now?
Yes, Mike. We got Daniel Cruz, who did that Halloween 4 behind you. That was signed by Tom Morga.
The old Morga.
He's working on 2 of my Myers for the event. And that Phantasm. I got an H5 from H2O.
Very nice. I would say we could have Michael Toth in here, but he would never fit.
Yeah, he wouldn't come on. His big head wouldn't fit in.
No. 6'7".
Well, it makes it tight in this room. This room, as Brett will tell you, it's very if you're claustrophobic, you're in trouble.
With all your, if you could get rid of half of this gear and let me take it home,
yeah,
then you'd be fine.
I imagine the plane would love that, coming with a bunch of horror stuff.
You have definitely packed a lot of cool stuff in here, though. So
yeah, there's a lot more outside, but.
I mean, you've maximized the space.
Yeah, there's no more room. There's literally no more room.
There's little room for little things, for little stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And then I wind up redecorating it. And somebody's coming on that I know. We got Leatherface is hiding behind you. Actually, he's right over your shoulder. You can kind of see him. The Sal Leatherface. There you go.
Oh yeah, the new guy.
And we got Leatherface over my head.
Yeah.
So we got some Leatherface down here. We got the Leatherface down here. So it's been cool. Brett called me up. Or actually last night, he said, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" Oh, here. I was thinking you were flying in around. We were going to go out to lunch. Next thing I know, how you doing? How you enjoying Kansas City? I'm stuck in my hotel room. Well, why don't you come down, hang out in the Krypt, man?
Yeah, I don't know what I was going to do today. I was probably going to go. My boss, old boss at Bad Boy Mowers, has a suite at the, he has a private box at the Kansas City with the Chiefs play.
Oh, nice.
I was going to go see if and we had a dealers meeting for Bad Boy Mowers last year, and we did it at the Chiefs Stadium, and they had an away game, so we got to go in and got to check out his suite, and we got to sit in the stands and watch the game, and they had food for us, and the cheerleaders were there. And then I left, and everybody got to go downstairs in the locker room and take pictures, like with Mahomes, his locker behind them, and I was like, "Oh, I missed that." So I was going to see if
what you get for being a party pooper.
I know. I was going to see if there was a way to get over there today, because Bad Boy Mowers is the official lawnmower of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Florida Marlins. And a few other, but so I couldn't go to the Chiefs thing today, so I decided to come over here and visit you.
I appreciate it. It's good to meet you in person. It's been great. This dude's a big dude, man. I didn't realize how tall he was.
I'm a fat guy, right?
You said you lost a bunch of weight.
I gotta lose more than that. I gotta lose more.
Look at some. You said you were about 350 or something like that at one point.
When we were filming my 1 week in Texas, when we were filming Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I was 350.
350. Well,
and they didn't think that was big enough, so they had to put all these padding and all this other stuff on.
Yeah, what are you, 6'6", 6'7"?
No,
6'5"?
I was a true 6'5" until I got older. Now I'm like 6'4" and 3/4.
Yeah, I think I was 6'1", and I think I'm down to 6 foot.
I think you're down to 5'10", but that's just me.
Yeah, I'm just looking down on me.
I'm just teasing. Michael Toth, the guy that does a lot of drawings for both of us and other folks, he's like 6'7"
Yeah, he's a big
with a
guy.
giant head. I've never seen him. I've just seen pictures.
He does. He's the next Leatherface. What do you think?
It could be if you get out of PA.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? Yeah, awesome artist too. Yeah,
he is an awesome artist.
I've been planning on like adjusting and getting some of the art from Michael hung up, but the problem is it's all in Florida.
So he just did a piece for me because I'm making an appearance in 2 weeks at the Outsiders House Museum. Now that was the house they had in the movie The Outsiders, and Danny O'Connor from House of Pain moved out there to Tulsa, bought the house, restored it, made it it's a museum. It's got everybody that's ever been in a movie comes by and signs it, and I don't even know if Tom Cruise has yet. But Tom, you better get over there and sign that thing for
He just had a little bitty part for Tom Cruise.
But,
he's probably sulky.
He better get over there and sign stuff for him. But he does movie night on the lawn. So this weekend, it's tonight or tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow night. Ari, was it Lehman?
Ari Lehman.
Ari Lehman's going to be there. They're going to watch, his Friday the 13th, and then he does a meet and greet. And then I'll be there July 9th, and we're going to watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And then we're doing a meet and greet beside. So the Outsiders House Museum on Facebook. Go look at it. Why am I looking at your computer?
That's what I do all the time.
I know. So go look at it. Google or not Google. Go on Facebook and look. And if you're around the Tulsa area, or you don't have that long a drive, July 9th. And I think tomorrow night for Ari as well. I think it's tomorrow night. You can go look at the Outsiders House Museum. He's either there tonight or tomorrow night. I think it's tomorrow night. But that's pretty cool. So we'll sit on you get to go sit on a famous house from a movie that's all been restored, but how it was in the movie.
Outsiders is one of my favorite movies of all time.
And then we get to sit there and watch the movie. Then I'll have my full costume. We'll go inside. But Michael Toth, the Tothinator, did a cool drawing of me on the Leatherface on the front of the stoop of the Outsiders House Museum. So
he gave me a sneak peek. He always shows me his stuff he's working on. I love his work, and he's done some amazing.
He's a great guy. We got to get him out of PA so people can experience.
I know he's working
the Tothinator.
Yeah, I'd love to get
the Toth Factor. Are we saying that right, or should we be saying Toth?
The Tothinator.
The Tothinator.
What are you doing, Michael Toth?
Yeah,
I called him Michael Toth too. He likes the name Michael Toth. He asked me that's what I called him, Toth, because
it's like the toe cutter. Anybody listen? Anybody know what the toe cutter is from? Respond real quick.
Let's see.
The next minute.
The Q&A by Brett Wagner.
What the toe cutter is?
If you're in the country, maybe we'll give a prize. Oh. You said you didn't want to carry that home. Now that would be kind of a cool one.
That's a cool one. But yeah, that's someone's got to know what the toe cutter is. That's one of the greatest movies of all time. Oh man,
Mad Max.
Yes.
I don't know. You want to sign that?
No. You know what? If you sign this,
yeah, let's do that one. All right, you lose out on this prize. You don't get this one. We'll throw that in the big prize. Oh, who is it? Now, yeah, we got to know who it is. Facebook user. You won, and then message me as long as you're in the country too.
So these toonie terrors are hard to come by. If you got to go search like a Target, and the targets are crazy because they come in once in a while. We'll sign that. I can ship you another one. I got a bunch of them.
Oh, I my Target actually had a bunch of them, so I got a bunch of them too. Yeah. They're all in Florida though.
It's Tony. Who's Tony?
Tony Anthony Greco. That's fantastic. Now you don't get that. Forget it. He's DQ'd. No, you know what? We'll get it signed. I'll bring it to you.
Yeah,
I'll bring it to you in Florida.
The Greconator.
You got to go to StreamYard and you can click and it'll let Facebook allow it. If you're on my name and you're not in the Doomsday script, I don't think the link shows up. But if you click the link, it'll show it.
Yeah, these are cool to get. So if you can find them at your local Target, they're cool to find. My wife went out one day and had to go like 6 hours and went to 8 because I knew we were going to run out of Funko Pops. So I'm like, I try to get whatever we can. So if I'm making an appearance back, I have something to sign because listen, at Spooky Expo, which was great at Frank and Son, I got rid of 55 Funko Pops. right? That's in a day and a half. That's
Well,
pretty.
you want there's a Target on the way towards Kansas City. They had a bunch of those.
Well, I ordered, but so this place Frankenson's in the Valley is a giant. I mean, I don't know, 100,000 square foot warehouse. That individual stores, like you could have your own little store.
Yeah.
And that goes on 3 days a week, which is huge. So people are like horror, wrestling, they want figures and other stuff. They go there, cards to get it. And then Spooky Expo, Spooky's Boo Events. There's a Spooky Expo there, and they take over a little piece of it. And they had 70 vendors, and they had me signing. And I ran out of pops almost on the first night.
Yeah, you told me.
I sold like 40 pops.
Well, I remember I talked to you the night before, and it was like, oh, well, you kind of said because I was doing a live stream and you weren't sure how you'd be feeling.
Yeah.
You weren't sure how it would go because I mean
I didn't know how it was going to go.
I know it's I get the same way. Like when I go to a convention, I got all this. Usually it's like, do I have enough stuff? And then I got a bunch of stuff, and then am I going to do well and stuff? And it always works out. It always does.
It does. But so I had this. My wife, my best friend. They had to go outside of the event into the warehouse where it's the regular deal, and go around and try to find Funko Pops because the guy Sam who runs that thing said, "Hey, you got 100 Pops?" I said, "I don't know Pops. I mean, who's going to buy it? I'm not going to get rid of 100 Pops."
It, yeah.
He goes, "Oh, you'll get rid of them." And then he kept walking around going, "You got any more Pops?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "Well, better get some." So anyways, it was a great event. They had 75 vendors there. If you're ever in Los Angeles or you ever see anything about Spooky's Boo Events and Spooky Expo, I'm sure he's going to branch out. Very smart guy. It's a lot of clothing, a lot of cool, unique stuff at different vendors, and they usually will bring in one guest, and it's pretty awesome. So I think it's on Instagram. You can look up Spooky's Boo. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it's Spooky's Boo. Spooky's Boo Events on Instagram, and follow them. They're pretty cool, and I think he's going to start expanding outside of California. So, but yeah, it was a great event. But this Outsiders thing, I'm real excited about. And then in Idaho, we go to Idaho Halloween and Horror Convention, and then there's Midwest Monster Fest coming up in East Moline, which I'm really excited about. Jeff that runs that's a good dude. A lot of music, a lot of cool people are going to be there. And I got one other one. Hopefully they'll announce it in Cincinnati. End of the year, I'm really excited because we're going to Frightmare in the Falls in Canada. So there's a couple people
awesome.
that are in your group.
My son's out in Canada. Canada's a big place, obviously. Yeah. So see how close he is. Maybe
I'll be Niagara Falls. We'll be above Niagara Falls.
I don't think they're
that's the
super
east.
Far. I know his mom went for something. Not a honeymoon, I don't think. But.
Yeah, well, so there's a lot of cool stuff going on, and then just auditioning still. I got to get some acting work before the end of the year.
Speaking of which,
The Grind. I'm doing a movie.
Yeah,
Grind. That's right.
Well, also Eric McCormick just bought a perk to do a scene in The Evil 3 with Brett and Amy.
Oh wow, Evil 3. That's right.
Yeah, you're a busy guy with those
indies. I'm a biker guy. I'm a biker guy, and Amy's a biker mama.
Oh.
That's right.
Amy, she's a character. I love it.
I'm her old man. She's an old lady in the movie. So good script. CJ and those guys, everything him and his partners touched, they usually are winning awards with. So I'm excited to do that with those guys.
He seems like a great guy. Yeah. He's come on now, twice? I think he came on 2 days in a row. I got to catch up with him.
It's so a lot of people look down on like doing, if you're an actor, you're blah, 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 you're doing these indie things. I'm like, it's working, man. It's a good opportunity. And if you don't have these, these directors and these guys that do something independently and then move on their way up, there's going to be no more, you're not going to have any new blood in the business, and you got to have the new blood in the business. And these guys are, scraping their mind together, doing Indiegogos to get the money, putting out a good product. And then, hopefully one of these, Bloomhouse or these people, New Line or someone else looks at that and goes, hey, this guy's got some good stuff.
I agree, man. I mean, that's why I love the indie projects. I've seen a lot of people on their first film to their second film, and it's grown so much. And I stay out of the drama, but I do see people like bash, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And not even so much the actors or actresses. And there's a lot, not only you, Felissa Rose, I've seen do a few.
Of course.
a bunch of people.
And listen, and if you're a new actor starting out, anyways, you need reel. You need something for your reel, right? You get an opportunity to go do something. It doesn't matter how small it is. You need it for your reel. On my reel, right? I got 25 seconds of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I got 30 seconds from NCIS Los Angeles. I got 10 seconds worth of something with, Ron Perlman from Sons of Anarchy. So it's all different clips, but you don't have. Back in the day when we were first acting, you'd have like a 5-minute reel.
Yeah,
and people don't have time to look at that, right? So they don't look at that anymore. They look at your picture on a computer, like this small. So you got to get good headshots that look like you. And I just had to go spend the money, to go get new headshots because my headshots are like 6 years old. Yeah. So I mean, if you really want to be in this business, you got to give it 120%. I think it's a great way
for actors to really make a comeback with like a lot of these 80s actors and conventions to see them again. Even in what was it? Roseblood, Lar Park. Screwing up her name, but Lar Park, who played the girl in that movie, not Tina. I'm like way off on my board today. What's her name? The one with the psychic ability, she was in it. Part 7 was never my favorite one. Love the look. But,
So look at it. It's awesome. You got to keep working.
For fans, though, we love it.
Sure.
I mean, I think it's so cool to see people.
So we're marks. So and that what a mark means in the pro wrestling world, it means you're just like you're a mark for this business. You love it no matter. You don't care whether it's fake, whether it's a real. What you just love the business. So both you and I are marks for the horror business.
Well, I think I've been watching you. You're busy, dude. You seem to be having a blast doing what you're doing.
I mean, would I rather be sitting in LA or Atlanta working on a show for 6 months? And yes. Well, in the meantime, you gotta work, right? As an entertainer, you gotta work. I used to say I'll never do commercials, right? I said I'm an actor. I don't do commercials until I did my first national commercial. It made like 160 grand in a year and a half, and I was like, oh, I just want to do commercials. I love commercials. Now it's like heroin. You keep chasing that thing for the rest of your life. I made 160 grand. Now you keep going back. I shouldn't use heroin as a. Yeah, I've never tried it. So, but you're chasing that. You're always chasing that, and you just got to do everything, right? Doesn't matter. If someone says, "Hey, come on and do a podcast," you go do it. If someone says, "Can you come in and do radio?" Right? Usually, maybe when I come back in August for the KC Outlaws, which is a new PBR team that I'm going to be doing some MCing for. I'll probably try to get into a local radio show out in Kansas City just to get in there and go, hey, what are you doing here, Big Schwag? And I'll be like, yeah, we're here for, the KC Outlaws and Outlaw Snacks and Bad Boy Mowers. And you throw everything up against the wall like you do. You do a lot of stuff. You throw it up all against the wall and you hope a couple things stick. And then, if you're lucky enough to go to some conventions, which I've been lucky, I've been pushing it and been lucky the last, year doing it, that you're nice to everybody, and hopefully when the tables turn and all of a sudden maybe you have some shirts or maybe you have some stuff somewhere, someone will go, that guy was cool, I'll buy that,
I think you got the great personality. I think that goes a long way, especially what you do with the voiceovers or the announcing, and you're definitely gifted with that, and people get to know more about you by seeing you interact with everybody. You're somebody's always learning. And to me, with these fan films, and nothing against Hollywood films, but a lot of people don't care, kind of sick of it. But to see people that you get to talk with, like in this type of deal where there's chat and you're interacting, and then get to see you in some of these fan films that are going on. Look, when Amy and you came on the show together, she had to meet you, and now you guys are in what, two upcoming films?
Yeah, we're two up the grind
and the Evil 3.
Evil 3, yeah. So it's all good, man. It's all, but as an actor, if you really want to get into this business, then you do what you can. I mean, there'll come a time when you say, okay, I can't do any more free.
Right.
And there'll come that time when you say, I can't do that, right? But in the meantime, if you got a good script, and even if it's paying you peanuts, and there's a really good role for you, you got to think, can I get good exposure for my reel and whatnot for that, and am I going to have a good time? And it gets you on a set, right? It gets you on the set where you get to work with some other actors and a director and everybody else, and it's good stuff. And some of these guys are winning awards. There's nothing wrong with, winning best horror flick at all these, these different film festivals. And everybody's, people are checking them out. Look at you.
Terrifier is a great example. That was
Perfect.
supposed to be another
Great example.
And look at those guys, Mike Levy and Jason Levy, the Fuzz on the Lens guys. Yep. They're working with Tyler Mane, Scout Tail, you name it. And they're working with all these people. They open the door.
Yeah, that's exactly what it does. It opens the door for stuff. So, when you see some people go, oh, these indie go-go's, and it's what they're doing. Listen, that's how you get stuff done. If we were all rich, if I had $6 million, I would bankroll a ton of movies.
Yeah.
I can, for 300. Listen, I've been in a couple movies. I've been in a movie that's $100 million to make. I've been in a movie that was $100,000 to make. If you had the right people doing it, that $100,000 looks like it was a $4 or $5 million movie, and people will watch that. So it's not getting a theatrical release. It's going on Best Buy, or it's going to Redbox. So what? It's great. It's exposure. It's how you keep busy.
Tons of roles.
Because if you don't keep busy and you're not in an acting class or something, and you're not keeping fresh, when that opportunity comes for you to read for something, and you're like, oh God, I just blew that.
I see there's just so much out. I see it as a ton of opportunity. Even look at Never Hike in the Snow by Vince DeSante.
That's right.
He was at Krypticon with me in Kansas City.
Was it Never Hike in the Woods? And
Never Hike Alone. Never Hike in the Snow.
Okay.
And Never Hike in the Snow Alone. Never Hike Alone 2 is coming out.
Yeah,
just finished that campaign.
Yeah, that's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I listen. I watched the stuff, and I sent my mask guy and my costume guy Jordan out there in Louisiana was talking about it and sent me a link. And I emailed the guy. I said, hey, I would love to get in your flick, because we're already cast right now. But he said he'd keep me in mind for the next thing. So.
Yeah. Oh, he's a super good dude. And I'll tell you, he's an indie filmmaker. He's a fan filmmaker with that. And he was busy the whole weekend, just from doing what people have been knocking on lately. I think it's a great market. I think they're so much fun. I love watching indie films. It's just unique seeing.
What did you just watch that you really liked that you were talking about?
I went and saw Voorhees Night of the Beast by Jason.
That's right.
Pitts.
That was that's right. Bigfoot.
Yeah, and he's done a few movies. Alone, which has already been released. Masquerade, which cast Olivia Disney. Got to give her some love too. Fantastic actress. I could see her being a screen queen too. She's awesome in Masquerade. She was great in Voorhees Night of the Beast. Jason Pitts, super talented writer too. He likes to flesh out his characters. So yeah, he did the fan movie Voorhees Night of the Beast.
And once you get enough, especially if you're a newer actor, once you get enough, if you have a minute's worth of cool stuff from different projects, and you go out and you go get yourself an agent, right? An agent or a manager is going to help you. You have to be on Actors Access. So if you all don't know that, get on actorsaccess.com. It's a must, because I still get a lot of roles out of Actors Access, whether my agent or my manager is pitching me for other stuff. I still find really nice gems on Actors Access. So that is my tip of the week. actorsaccess.com. Check it out. There's also LA Casting, but that's more for commercials and whatnot. But actorsaccess.com, a must, especially you can put your individual clips on there, right? If you only have one clip and 3 headshots, it doesn't matter. You get on there, you do your resume up, you put your stuff on there, and that's what people can go. When I see these indie films, or I see other stuff that's union, I submit for it, and you never know. I've gotten 2 big deals I got. I did, what's the motorcycle, MMI, Motorcycle Mechanics Institute, right? This is 20 years, not 20 years ago, 15 years ago. I was on Actors Access. I submitted for it. They were looking for a guy that looked like an instructor. And I'm a good walk and talk guy, right? I'm a good walk and talk. And I went in, and the guy says, that's it. You're the guy. I've been doing this for 3 days. We haven't found anybody. And you look like a biker. And I said, well, I am a biker. That's great. So I did that. That thing paid me. It was a buyout at $8,000, right? I was like, $8,000. Yeah. Hey, this is awesome, right? But then they had to pay me every single December 1st. They had to send me a check for $8,000 as long as they kept running it. They ran it for 6 years. So every December, man, right before the holidays, I'd get a check, and I'd be like, "This is
basically almost $50,000,
right,
for doing one thing.
Clicking,
yeah,
for clicking on Actors Access." So that's another tip of the week, and good stuff out there. So get your stuff, get your footage together. get some good headshots, and then submit for all the stuff you can, and never turn something down. You know, obviously research it, because there's still morons out there.
You know, and you do these conventions, and I do tables there, and every single convention has independent movie awards.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's so much out there to be seen.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're going to be seeing more at these horror conventions in a sense than the big movies, because they'll be playing those movies, and you can go watch these indie projects, and a lot of people won awards. Like Musatsos has won a bunch of awards. Jason Pitts has won awards. Tons of the actors and actresses are winning awards, and they're getting the attention.
I mean, the guys from The Grind, right? They have a really good script. They've got some really good folks.
Cody Huskins.
They got Cody Huskins now, who's big. He's not taller than me, but he's definitely a lot. He's more jacked.
A big dude.
He's more jacked than I am, for sure. But
he's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude. So, you know, he's going to be playing Leatherface, and you know, it's just, there's great opportunity. These guys they're hustling, right? They're hungry, is what it is. They haven't been beat down in this business, and I've been doing it for 30 years, and sometimes I get beat down, right? When you've auditioned for so many things and you only book a small percentage, because in Hollywood and in the acting game, it's a percentage thing, right?
Yeah. Before
COVID, if you went in a couple times a week for auditions, you were doing good, right? 2 or 3 auditions a week. Someone said that's nothing. That's actually a big deal, because, you know, there's 300 big guys in Hollywood that all want to be actors. Whether they're real actors, they've been studying their whole life, whether they're doormen, security guys, whether they're ex-athletes. You know, that's all stuff that I have to deal with when I have to go in for auditions. I got to go get these guys, you know, whether they just came from the WWF, WWE, and they have a little bit of a name. So, you know, a couple auditions a week, and you're blessed. And then if you can get some stuff on your own through Actors Access, or, you know, through, you know, doing stuff like this and meeting these guys and having some of these directors go, boy, I'd love to have you come and be in my flick. Or I email folks. If I see something cool, like I emailed the guy from Never Walk Alone in the Woods. What is it?
Never Hike Alone.
Never Hike Alone, right? Because I saw it in Jordan, my mask maker, and my costume guy. I made my costume for when I do conventions. He said, yeah, and he sent me a link to this thing, and I started watching. I thought, this is good stuff. So I emailed the guy, right? All he can say is no.
Yeah.
But I'm prepared to show him my reel. I'm prepared to show him my resume. And that's what these young actors have to do, right? You got to get that stuff ready, and you got to get it going. And then doesn't matter if there's going to be 100, there'll be 1,000 times people say no, but there'll be 1 or 2 times when they say yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
It only takes that one time for.
I don't know why we're preaching them, but anyways, yeah.
Hey, but there's nothing wrong with that. It makes a lot of sense, and it really, it's a lot of what you do right now. It's as an actor, you're always trying out for these roles.
Oh yeah.
And if you're not trying out and you're not grinding these auditions, you're not going to get the part. You might be lucky, but you know, if you're grinding something,
people are, you know,
you play the numbers.
You know, I've gosh, I forget what it was. I went in for Armageddon, right? And I got booked a role in Armageddon. I was like, oh, I'm all excited. But God, man, I was just like, oh God, I got playing a biker in a brawl in a bar, and I was like, this will be great. Biker, whatever, salvage worker guy. And then the day came for it to shoot, and I was like, hey, and I called my agent. I'm like, hey man, I'm supposed to be shooting like tomorrow or something. And he goes, oh shoot, you are. Let me call. And they said, yeah, one of the producers got his big kid in. I was like, son, but they still had to pay me. But
you know, yeah, but you want to be in it.
You want to be in it, right? I was
right.
like, oh great. So I made it, you know, like $6,000 or something for me.
That's
not the point. The point is, I would have been in Armageddon, for God's sakes, and I still would have made the money and had the nice. So there's disappointment all over the place when it comes to acting and all that other stuff. But you just gotta keep plugging forward. I mean, I'm 54. I started acting when I was 21. Not that I got a lot of work, and I didn't really start getting work until I was in my 30s consistently, because I became better, a better actor, and I became better in a room when you audition. Auditioning now, when you put yourself on tape, that's an audition. Very rarely, especially in LA, do you go in for a physical audition, which is terrible. I don't like it. I can work a room better. I'd rather get in front of somebody and they go, hey, Brett, how are you? Oh, what's going on? I saw you in this. And if you audition for something and they go, hey, the director really wants this, then you get that opportunity to change it real quick. Give me a second. Okay, when you have to put yourself on tape, self-tape for something, which a lot of stuff in Atlanta now, LA is that way now. You only get one shot at it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it might not be what the guy's looking for.
Well, that's where I see like these live streams being great. The technology now with streamers and YouTubers is somebody like you can come and you don't even have to really audition. The people get to see the type of character and go, like, he'd be perfect for that.
Well, we Zoom a lot. So I do a lot of hosting as well, right? So I audition to host a couple of TV shows, some car stuff, and I just had to Zoom with these folks.
Well, you got that great voice.
And I told them, I said flat out, you're not going to find a better host for this. Something to do in Florida. I can't talk about it because I might be up for it. So I said, you're not going to find a better host than this. And let's go.
You should do some. I could see you as like the Michael Buffer type deal, some MMA.
I love Michael. So I'll tell you a funny story about Michael Buffer. So Michael Buffer used to come to a club I worked. Me and my best buddy Bruno, we used to work this big club called Vertigo in downtown LA. So we're talking, 30 years ago. And Michael Buffer was Michael Buffer. I'm like, oh man, he always come dressed to the nines. He's looked the same for 30 years.
Yeah.
A little grayer now, but he looks good. And Bruce Buffer from the UFC, and a good poker player, by the way. And Bruce Buffer on Monster Garage one time, I said, "Let's get ready to rumble," and I said it like twice, and then the guy.
Oh, you can't do that?
No, then our executive producer, who also did voiceovers for the show, said it. And so then they got a letter from Let's Get It Ready to Rumble Productions saying, "Hey, you owe us, $30,000." Or no, 30 grand, 10 grand every time you said that. And my executive producer called me into the office. He goes, 30 grand, buddy. You know these guys? And I was like, I do. And he goes, and I just worked a pro wrestling gig with Bruce Buffer. And I knew Michael would remember me because we're pretty good friends. So I called Bruce and said, Bruce, it's Big Schwag. And he goes, yeah. I said, listen, that's me on Monster Garage. He goes, oh. I said, look, I didn't mean to. I didn't realize it was copyrighted. He said, let me talk to Mike. He called me back 10 minutes later and said, it's okay, just don't do it again. I'm like, thank you, because you just saved me my job. Yeah. Oh, because 30 grand, my boss would have paid it, but I would have been like, he's like, you started it. I didn't want to say you said it too, but he's like, you started saying it. So then I figured it was okay to say.
Yeah, that's all right.
So I got very lucky. But two of the nicest guys in the business, obviously Michael Buffer, been doing it a long time, and then Bruce is a great guy too.
I've heard they're nice guys, but you don't want to piss them off. They're no slouches either.
Oh, so yeah. Well, Bruce has traded punches with
one of the MMA guys. I forget.
He got in a fight. Oh God, what is that story? He got in a fight with somebody in an elevator.
Yeah, I heard it.
And threw punches, and I don't know who it was.
Somebody tried bullying him. One of the fighters. He was like, "Hell no." I forget. I know what story you're talking about because
it's the same one. I'm just trying to figure out. Michael, I don't know how old Michael is, but Michael's just a good dude that the ladies still like.
Oh, he did well.
But so that's good. Anyways, yeah, it's good.
I guess he's learned technique by being up close and personal with
him. Yeah,
you can't help but not.
Bruce Buffer's in good shape, man. Yeah. Look at him; he's yoked and
big dudes.
And and he has carved it. They both have carved a niche for themselves. And Michael was obviously the original guy. And Let's Get Ready to Rumble. Then Bruce is.
Bruce might even be more popular with the way UFC is.
Of course. And right now, because unless you have been around for 30 years and been watching boxing, like you and I have, people may go, "Who's Michael Buffer?"
Right.
Everybody knows who Bruce Buffer is because the UFC's been
both fantastic.
Yeah,
two of the best.
Oh, two of the best of the
two best.
Sure,
really. Let's see. Well, we didn't have too much. Oh, Mike likes that shag rug. You know what that shag rug is? I don't have the thing. It's the hair for that. You can see it.
Oh,
down the ground. It's hair, so I used it as a rug because the guy said I don't do that color hair, but I bought the roll, and I'm like, all right, tell you what, I'll buy the hair, you do the hair, but we never do the hair again. So it's a one of a kind hair. He sent me the rest of the hair, and it works good for like a 70s shag rug, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty cool. All the people you've met. How like getting to know some of these people that.
Some are really cool, right? Some of them you're like, oh, I'm all excited. My first movie I ever did was Bicentennial Man with Robert Williams.
Oh wow,
Robin Williams.
love that movie.
And I'm in the very first scene of the movie. I'm a delivery guy.
That's you?
I deliver Robin with the robot to what's his name?
Yeah, I never knew that. That's one of my favorite. Yeah, I love that movie, man. I do.
Sam Neill, not Sam.
Yeah, Sam Neill.
Yeah, Sam Neill. So so Robin Williams was really cool. I had a run-in with him at a sleepover when I was probably in the 8th grade, and a kid in my class, Grant Johnson, his dad was the executive producer of Mork and Mindy. Maybe the 6th grade. We had a sleepover, him and his dad. Robin Williams and his dad come back at the house at 3 a.m. from going out, or 2 a.m, and Robin Williams just entertained us kids for another hour. I told him that on the set, right? I said, "Hey, you're not going to remember this," but he goes, "I was back in my party days."
That's what I was going to ask you. Was it pre or post the party days?
It was. He was still partying.
That must have been made it. I mean, I'm glad I got off it.
I wouldn't know. Yeah.
But
at the time, I wouldn't know. But he was such a nice guy. I got to Scott Glenn, so I did a movie. So after I got hurt on Texas Chainsaw Massacre and got sent home, a week later, my back was feeling better, and I got booked a gig. A week later, I'm in Mexico filming with Scott Glenn, a movie called Puerto Vallarta Squeeze, and I'm like, Scott Glenn, this is amazing, right? But he was all business, all professional. I was like, I called a friend of mine. I said, "You've worked with Scott Glenn before?" And he goes, "Yeah." I said, "Well, hurry up. What do I do to crack the ice with this guy?" He said, "Ask him about any of his. What movie do you like him in?" I said, "Like Amazing Urban Cowboy, with Travolta playing that prison guy, prison rodeo dude." So I asked him about it. I said, "Hey man, I really what was it like working on Urban Cowboy?" He goes, "Oh, Urban Cowboy." He goes, "Well," he says, "if you see me when I'm on the bull, right, when he's on that bull,
yeah,
and you see the bull buck, you see one of the cowboys, a real cowboy stunt guy, a real cowboy, lean over to, make sure I'm all right." Well, when he leaned over, the bull gored him. Didn't kill him, but gored him. And then after that, this is Scott Glenn. "Hey, can you do a 1-arm push-up?" And I'm like, no. This is like in 2003, right? He's like, "You do." Is there Scott Glenn doing? You can't do 1-arm push-up. He's doing 1-arm push-ups. I'm like, "No, I cannot, Scott. Please stop doing that." His wife was there. And this is a true story, and I don't think I was going to mind me telling it, but his wife was telling me that Scott Glenn was almost done with Hollywood. He wasn't getting a lot of roles. He's like, "We're going to go to Idaho. Let's just go to Idaho. I got some friends we can live with. They have a big commune thing." He got that gig on Urban Cowboy, and I guess the writer or the director was like, "Look, I wrote this role for you. Just come do this part for me." And then he says, "Okay." Then we're moving, right? So his wife said, they were back in the day when the studios would get the dailies, and all of a sudden she's like calling Scott a week or two into the shooting. It's like, "You got a bunch of scripts here. People are sending scripts to the house for you." He goes, "Huh?" So they were looking at the dailies of him and Urban Cowboy and going, "God, this fucking guy's great."
Yeah.
And they were sending him scripts to his house, which is just, stuff like that. If you're good and you're talented and you stick with it, stuff like that will happen. It's just it can happen. So you just gotta stick it out, play it out.
So if you ever meet Scott Glenn, Urban Cowboy, and ask if he can still do 1-arm push-ups,
yeah, oh my God,
you'll be gold.
God, if he could do, he probably could. Yeah. But what a guy to work with. Just an amazing actor. And then who else have I worked with? It was Harvey Keitel was on that too, but Harvey Keitel was real quiet.
Yeah.
And I always see Harvey at some of the bars I was working afterwards. Going, "Harvey, remember me?" And he'd be like, "No." I'm like, "Mexico." He'd go, "No, I don't remember." I'm like, "That's okay, Harvey." James Woods. I love James Woods as an actor. He kind of got screwed over by Hollywood because he's just so to the right politically. Yeah. And then he won't come off of it either, to get the work, which is, I respect him in a way, but he's totally been, we'll just say blue-balled. I don't want to say it. Blue-balled from the business. But he used to come to this Jones, a restaurant bar I used to work. I say, "You can't bring your cigar in." He'd put it out right on the door. And I'd be like, "What? James, what are you doing?"
He's done some great films, though.
Come on. Cat's Eye. I mean, all that. He's done some great stuff. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
I mean, tremendous actor.
Yeah, it's too bad he's not acting still.
He should be.
My thing is with actors, I don't care what side you're on. Sometimes you're almost better off just not even mentioning it.
Listen, I don't talk politics or religion.
I try not to do it too much on my show, because I find if you don't talk about it with most people, you don't know, and you wind up finding out they're good people, and you can be friends with almost everybody.
Yeah, listen, you got to be friends with everybody. I'll tell you who I used to work with in my beginning days, not even as an actor. We worked at a bar called Smalls on Melrose and Gower, one of the first big Hollywood, no-name clubs, right? It just didn't have a name. Called Smalls, just an address, no name on the outside. And I was a doorman with Australian Tom, and Mark Ruffalo was our bartender. So I got an agent right away. A big, tall guy, flat top. I got an agent. I'm like, Mark, you got it. I can get you an agent. My agent's great. He said, I'm going to stick with doing the. I remember him. I don't think he'll remember this, but I remember him saying, he was doing plays at the time. I'll stick with the plays.
Yeah, and look at him now.
Look at him now.
Yeah, he's big.
But I saw him maybe 7-8 years ago. I haven't seen him in years, probably 25 years. And my wife does a little hustle with getting autographs on the side from celebrities. It says, hey, Mark's going to be doing a Q&A for one of his movies. He does, he does a lot of quirky stuff.
Yeah.
So it was probably an independent film. So I'm like, I'm going to go. I haven't seen the guy in 20 years. I want to go say hello. And all the graphers, which are the people that get autographs in Hollywood, where they like hustle and flip the autographs, sell them on eBay or sell them to Autograph World, some of these other bigger websites. Now, a car pulls in. My wife's like, that's going to be him in the car. Director gets out. Mark gets out. And they're going in the back. And I'm like, hey, can you come sign a couple things? And he goes, he's just like, oh, I got to go. I'm like, hey, yeah. Can we curse?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, asshole. Hey, come on over here, asshole. Now he's pissed, right? This is the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo. He's pissed. And he starts walking over like, what did you say? And then he realized it's me. And he goes, oh, my God. Then he comes over. He's so nice. There was 3 people in the back. There's 50 people in the front of the thing. There's only 3 people in the back there. So he signs everything my wife has and the other 2 people. We talked for like 15 minutes. We're talking about the old days and where this bartender is, where this doorman is. And you can see the directors at the door going, because they have a queue. They have to do a Q&A. But what a nice guy. So if you ever see Mark Ruffalo, he's a really good guy. He does a lot of stuff with water conservation, and just one of the true gents that I grew up working with, and he's just a good guy. So
that's cool. You remembered, 25 years.
You better. For God's sakes. Yeah, and then when I had my blood clot, my wife went to some screening he was at to get some stuff signed, and he says, "What? Brett's in the hospital. Yeah, I got a blood clot." So he says, "Turn your camera on." So he goes, "Hey, I hear you're in the hospital. I hope you get better. Stop drinking that pop, that diet soda. Stop doing that, man." So then I'm showing it all around, going, "Look at the Hulk's telling me to stop drinking." I'm showing all the nurses
Did you stop
in the hospital. No, I didn't. I just kept stopping.
My Achilles heel now is those damn Monster drinks, especially work. And those are terrible for you.
I'm diabetic. I can't do that.
Well,
I shouldn't do that. But
it's 0 carbs, 0 sugars. The ones I do, so they're.
Well, if you're in the area tomorrow in Kansas City, the 25th, I'll be at the Wagon Wheel Mobile Home Park. There's a mobile home park. They have a giant field where we do a big bike show tomorrow, the 3rd annual Gustero Clubhouse Bike Show. You love choppers. You love that Kansas City chopper, the high tanks, the rakes on the bikes and everything. That's where me and this man will be tomorrow. Doors open at 10 o'clock. That is in Gwinnett. I think it's called Gwinnett, Kansas City.
Yeah, I think I looked it up. It's not too far.
No, it's not that bad. So if you're around tomorrow, 10 o'clock, we open the doors, and it's $10 to get in, or you bring a toy for the kids because they're raising money for this Michael Burgess.
Hey, look at that! I got a toy.
Yeah, that's right, you do. Someone would probably dig that. But I'm all talked out. I got to save my voice for them.
Yeah, I don't want you to be go in there and then Doomsday's Krypt gets blamed.
That's right.
I'll get sued.
But thanks for hanging out with us today, folks.
Yeah.
And thanks for having me over to the house.
Hey, man,
and if you don't see me, Michael Toth. Hey, try me in about an hour. If you don't get a hold of me, you know where I was. The last place I was at. Let someone know.
Hey, that's cool, man. Hey, Well, there he is. Awesome, fellas. Thanks everybody for catching up with us. We didn't really expect it. I was like, Brett's like, I'm just sitting in my hotel room. We were gonna go out to lunch. I'm like, you want to come check out the Krypt? He's like, yeah. So we decided to have him come over, check out the Krypt, and we're like, we're going live. So thank you guys all for checking us out on this random afternoon Friday stream. And if you're in the Kansas City area, check them out tomorrow. I'll be there too.
Wagon Wheel Mobile Home Park, Gwinnett, Kansas.
Easy
Oh, wait a
announcement.
minute, Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Yes.
Oh, we'll figure it out. Just look it up. It's on all the Facebook pages for us. So if you're here, you can see us. But thanks again, Brett, for coming in. And it's always good to meet you in person. And I don't know, go grab something to eat or something. We'll figure something out. Keep you busy till tomorrow. All right, guys. Peace out.